Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are off of Park Street today, filming at J&K Security Solutions, having ourselves a nice time.
Such a great place. There's wine back there.
There is wine back there, yes. We may stay a while. Later we're going to be talking about home security, which you may need when you're going on vacation, which is exactly what John Scherer from Trinity Financial Planning is going to be talking to us about, and we're glad for that because it's summer. And I'm ready for a vacation.
Sounds good,
we all
doesn't
are.
it?
Yeah.
It's about that time.
No kidding. Well, the kids are out of school and it might be time to go. So John, thanks for joining us.
You bet.
We appreciate it.
Good to be back.
So first of all, let's start with budget. When people are planning, what kind of vacation budget do you recommend for folks?
I get that question a lot. It's one of those things that's so unique. It sort of depends. It's sort of like asking what type of a car do you want to drive. It depends if you like the all-inclusive resort or, on the other end, if you want to go camping, there can be a really wide range of those things. So we talk about just setting a goal and then planning for it like you plan for anything else. And so there's not a lot of like, here's what percentage of income or net worth, but BMO Harris did a study last year of affluent people, and they said, I think it was $1 million of investable assets that these folks had, and they said the average person in that category spends about $3,000 a year, $3,000 per vacation.
Okay.
Now those folks take 4 to 6 vacations a year, so their budget's fairly large, but just from a perspective of, and I think in Wisconsin it was about $2,000 is an average vacation, whether that's, and I didn't have any data on whether that's a week or a weekend or whatnot, but just for an interesting kind of survey.
It might be the average of depending, doesn't matter the length, that's the average.
Right.
And where you're going and what you want to do. I mean, if it's a simple camping trip, it may not cost you $2,000, $3,000.
Yes, if you have a slew of children, it's going to be more expensive.
That's going to be more expensive. And maybe not even so much of a vacation if you have a slew of kids. Anyway,
that's another topic.
That's another topic for another day. So what about buying a vacation home? I mean, some people think this is a way of taking a vacation, but this is almost could be looked at as an investment, buying a vacation home. What are your thoughts on that?
Especially in Wisconsin, right? A lot of lakes around, places to go and kind of get away from it all. And it sounds like a good idea, but oftentimes it's not, unless. So we sort of use a rule of thumb for that one, where if you're going to be there for 2 months out of the year, then it makes sense to start looking at using a summer home or a vacation home. Or on weekends, if you say about 12 weekends, 3 months where you're going up there consistently. Otherwise, it makes more sense just to rent a place.
Okay, so 2 months is kind of like the minimum, and if you're going beyond that, or two months or more, then you might want to look into
that's when you're in the range of those things.
Okay.
And if you think about it from an investment, I mean, it sounds good. You buy a lake home for $200,000, and then it's worth $400,000, and great, it's going up. But the problem is, if you like the lake home, it's still a sunk cost, right? You've put that money into it, and it's not like you can. The only way you realize any benefit from it is by selling the thing, right? So you still have that money in. The one place is
buy something you hate. No.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like conundrum. Or, geez, this is a great investment, but if you like the investment, you can't do anything with it.
Right. Yeah.
If you wanted to rent it, that's the one place where we do see some people where it makes some sense. But then it becomes like a part-time job. You're up there and checking things out. It can work. But again, it just depends on how much you're going to use it and those sort of things.
You've got to be ready to take on that responsibility of an income property.
Right, and sharing your place where you like to go with other people, right? It's different if you have a duplex someplace and it's just sort of an absence. Now there's people sleeping in your bed and using your things and doing that stuff, and it's okay, but it's not a free lunch sort of a thing.
Right. Not as easy as it might sound.
That's right.
Now let's talk a little bit about timeshares, another popular alternative. Is this a money sinker or a good investment?
It's a great term. It's one of those things, and if you've ever sat through a timeshare presentation, it's really interesting. I mean, they're good at what they do.
Oh, yeah.
But you take a look at the dollars going into it, and it just typically doesn't make any sense to do. You can do it more cost effectively in other ways, especially now with the way that the internet is, and you can go and find deals. One place where it's not like it's a bad concept, but if you go to some of the resellers, find people that are selling their used timeshares, you get them at cents on the dollar, 10 cents on the dollar. So if you find a place that you really like, hey, I like to go to this particular place in the Ozarks or Disney or wherever it might be, before you go to the timeshare pitch that they, wine you and dine you sort of thing, look at some of the places where you can find, and we've got some of that information on a blog post on our website where you can see some of the resale links if people are interested in that.
Interesting. Okay. And you really got to like the location. I mean, then your vacations are essentially in the same spot.
And you've got to take a look at some of them. You have a specific week. You can't exchange them, but then you get into some more complications. And again, it's sort of like, how much time do you want to spend planning this when you can find a place that, and going to different places, and again, economically speaking, with some of the deals that are out there.
There's a lot of rules, it sounds like.
Yeah, right.
So we've talked a little bit about budget. We've talked about, investing. What about some immediate help? I mean, do you have any any money-saving ideas that people can use for their summer vacations?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that my family is going on a vacation this summer to a cabin on a lake, because that's sort of on my mind. And
Sure.
we've used vacation rental by owner, vrbo.com, I think is the website, or Airbnb or some of these things. You can get some pretty good
Sure.
deals. Some of these non-traditional things can be a good time saver, or a good money saver, I should say. And if you're in a place where travel, some big cities, you know, things like Uber versus a taxi, I had to do that recently, and it was like half price of what the taxi would have cost. And some of those little things where, especially as they're talking about families and larger things going, that it makes some sense to look at some of those non-traditional things. And the other thing would be sharing a vacation. You know, what's the cost if you rent a cabin or something like that, or a travel where it's if you can share it with somebody else, that cost goes way down if you get a larger place, right, as opposed to the 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom units.
Sounds good. Well, grab a friend and go on vacation.
That's right.
This is John Scherer with Trinity Financial Planning. Check out his website. He's got a great blog and a great website. We're always bragging on your website, John. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
While you're on vacation, J&K Security Solutions will keep you safe. We'll talk about how after the break.